All right, so I just had some random thoughts about the scapula and scapular mobility. So a lot of people will think about the scapula being a major unit for stability of the shoulder, and that's very true. Having stable shoulders depends on your scapula being nice and stable and having that retraction strength through any exercise that you do for your back, or even through pushing exercise, having that ability to keep things stable and pull together. So for example, what I mean, when I'm doing a pull down here, you're going to see I set my shoulders by depressing my shoulder blades first before I make my pull. So I don't just pull with my arms to promote no scapular stability. Having, of course, strength of those muscles back there will make it easier for you to get into those positions and maintain your scapular stability through your movements. But on the flip side, people don't really think about scapular mobility and how important that is for your shoulder's health as well. A lot of people will use the scapular stability idea by setting things up for a bench press, for example, by doing some rows or some pull downs or whatnot, then going and hitting the bench press, and they'll have no pain in their shoulders while they're doing the press. Well, there's a common little mistake there that they're making, is they're forgetting the fact that a proper bench press is going to act, or it's going to ask for your shoulder blades to be pulled right back and pulled tight. And that means that there's immobility of the scapula. You're asking your shoulder blades not to move at all. So you'll see when I set up here on a bench what I mean. When I set up, I pull my shoulder blades together. I create a little bit of an arch in my back. And when I go through my movement, my shoulder blades don't move anywhere. If they did, that would cause injury to my shoulders because of the weight that's coming down on them. So I keep my shoulder blades pulled back for the entire range of motion. But that doesn't mean that you're really getting the scapular protractors trained properly for an overall health through other movements. So people might apply that bench press technique to an exercise like a push-up, and they'll come in like this, they'll set their shoulders the way they should, and they keep it that way for the entire time that they're doing their push-up. Now, that's not terribly bad for you, but what's better is for you to exercise that scapular mobility against a resistance. So, I set, I push all the way through. The difference there is that I'm activating my serratus muscles. Pushing against the extra motion in the push-up is going to make my serratus muscles actually light up and engage to protract my scapula against the ground. It's very different than using a back machine to do the same thing. So if you see again, I go through the motion, I set my shoulders, I unlock my shoulders, and then I set again and make my pull again. The difference is that I'm using the gravity of the plates coming down to pull my shoulders back. There's no activation of the serratus muscle to do that. When you're doing a standing press and you extend over the head, that involves the serratus muscles to protract the shoulders. To elevate the shoulders as well, using the traps and so on, there's muscular activity. So there's a big difference there, and it's something that needs to be trained. The protraction and the overall mobility of the scapula is just as important as training the stability of the scaps, so don't forget both sides of the coin. That's it.